Okay, we got us a big old generous hunk of cherry on there. This is going to be the bottom, this is going to be the top. I'm going to get this flattened out and get a tendon on it, get it flipped as soon as possible because I don't like spinning this much weight, but it is what it is. I'm going to try to make an emerging something. I'm not sure if it's going to be a bowl or a vase. It's kind of big for a vase, but I was thinking about, coming way out. I think it's going to be an emerging bowl. Try to leave the bark on here, try to leave the bark on the rim, and see what we can do. Let's fire it up. Alright, this is going to take a while cutting end grain like that, so I'll turn you back on when I get my tenon done. Alright, I'm just squaring out the open end of it. I'm being very careful not to knock this bark off. That's one of the main reasons I picked this cherry. If it starts getting loose on me, I'm going to have to postpone the project because I'm fresh out of CA glue. Because, well, you've seen what I used it on. Alright, I'm going to start from the face and start cutting some of this weight away, and we'll see how she turns out. Let me get all set up. I tried turning the speed up. It's not ready yet. A little out of balance. I think this knot has a lot to do with it. Most of that knot is getting cut out of there. Alright, I just had to pop the thing off the lathe. There was a little nubbin on the face of my tenon, and that was actually bottoming out at the back of the jaws, and these jaws are set up to be square to the face of the jaws, so I had a little wobble to it. If I wouldn't have caught that, one thing, it could have fell out of the chuck when I took the tail piece away. But also, the whole thing would have been shaped like an egg because it had a weird wobble to the back of it. So I make sure you shave that nub off and don't let your tenon bottom out in the jaws. Now I got up to a higher speed. It should be much better cutting. Much better. Got a little nub right there I'm trying to get rid of. I'm saving some of the pieces of bark that are flying off in case I got to make a repair later. See, that's why I made this bowl yesterday. We're almost around. A little bit more to go. Alright, now that I got a lot of the weight and the bulk taken out of the middle, before I make this any thinner here, I want to hollow this out while this still has full strength. So I'm going to start hollowing from the end and see what I can do with it. to back on the sides of the bowl, but I'm going to put an insert in here with tail support just to make sure it doesn't get all wobbly. There we go. I just cut the bottom off a t-shirt. I hope this hole here is centered. Well, it's not centered, but it's not causing it to wobble. It's probably just the way I have it in the bowl. That felt better. Alright. Now I can continue on the outside. Alright, you see there? I just took a ½ inch off of here. Now I got to check it with the calipers. Normally I don't do this, but I left extra meat on there. I'm going to leave this probably a little extra thick, but not that thick. I can take another quarter off easy. Alright, that's all I'm going to chance. Cutting inside like that, it's really, when you're especially in the center and you can't get the right angle, it's really easy to get a cut. So I'm making very light, clean cuts. So far, I've only had a couple, but they were minor. Looking pretty decent. I'm just trying to figure out what to do in the middle. Should I just taper it in and call it good, or I don't want to keep carving away and then, you know, take too much. But I don't want a big, bulky monster. I think I'm going to flatten this out some. That's looking better. Hear that knot in there? Making it crazy. Nice ribbon. Y'all just missed it. I just had a horrendous catch. Well, not horrendous. Wasn't career ending. See that groove? Boy, I would have been mad if I didn't have room to take it out. But the funny thing is, I knew I was going to do it even before I stuck the gouge in there, like an idiot. Instead of adjusting my fence from this way over to this way to address this side, I tried to kind of get at a weird angle and paid price. Now I got to take that out, which is fine. I got room, but if that would have been my finishing cut or something and this was didn't have any meat left on it, I'd be bumming. So I got lazy. Keep your wits about you. Alright, I think this is what I'm going to go with. I got a nice flat kind of mushroom thing here with a little bead, about 1/4 inch, little flat spot. I was going to put a bead in here, but I think I'm going to leave it clean. I got a little cove here, bigger cove here, with a little 1/8 inch shelf, I guess, for lack of whatever, and then a nice taper, round taper here. I may taper this up into the bark a little bit more, sanding and scraping. I don't know, it's got a pretty clean line now. And then after I get it all sanded, I have to come back and very carefully, I want to shave this to almost a point to where the most of the bark is above the wood of the bowl. So after I get all sanded and everything, it will basically, can you see that right there? It will look like that. But for right now, I'm going to leave it thick in case I accidentally touch it. I'm not knocking off a bunch of bark. So that will be my final taper right there. Alright, it's time for sanding. Let's see how it goes. Man, if you ever want to impress somebody with sanding skills, get a piece of cherry. This stuff sands up so nice it's ridiculous. Alright, I'm going to get a first coat of finish on there. Like I say all the time, basically a sanding sealer. I still don't have any CA glue, so hopefully this shellac will be enough to hold the bark on. I suppose I could delay finishing it and then I can glue the bark from the bottom. Doubt I'll wait, I'm not very patient. I suppose it could always be re-glued, eh? I think this is, all in all, one of my favorite woods. It's not real impressive with the, well, some cherry's pretty impressive with the grain and what have you, but it's pretty straight grained. Big stump or something weird, root ball, but just the tone and the color of it and the way it takes a finish is cool. But I love this cherry tone. But on the other hand, I can't stand that fake cherry, that red color that they sell in stores, you know, like cherry furniture and this, that, and the other. It drives me bonkers. I just left I figured there was enough going on with the bowl, I just left the center plain Jane. I love how black this bark gets. Gorgeous. I just let this go a little bit with some 120 sandpaper just to get the sharp edges off. It's not smooth by any means, but I enjoy the Mother Nature texture of it. Kind of liking the shape. What do you think? Comment below, like and share, please. It's like when I look at my YouTube page, I can almost tell instantly when one of my videos gets shared because the count goes up by at least 100. It's pretty awesome. There's a lot of inches around this bowl. Pretty darn big. I think it's about almost 12 inches across. I love this tone of the inner bark, that kind of reddish brown. I think that's where they get that fake cherry color, because it actually is kind of red. Just beautiful. I'm not turning it on because I don't want to spray the camera. Okay, hold on tight. I'm going to move you so you can get a better look. I'll be gentle, I promise. Much nicer look. See this tone right here? I love that tone. Alright, I'm going to let this cure up and sand up the inside of the bowl. Let that cure. At least a first coat. See, this is that edge I was talking about. I'm going to taper this up to almost nothing. It will be similar to this right here, where it's real thin. See here where it's thicker. So I try to get that where only bark sticks up. Okay, it's been a couple of hours. The outside's dried up. Of course, it needs more sanding. I couldn't sit in the house and not come out here and finish this up, or at least get it to final sanding stage. I got the taper pretty good, but I don't think the bowl is slightly out of round, so I couldn't get the whole thing as thin as I wanted, because this spot right here, which is right here, that's the back of the bark, and I was getting thin enough where I was worried about that cutting all the way through or breaking off. As you can see over here, it's thicker, and right here there's a hump, but that's to be expected for a rough bowl like this. Now if I would have took this down all the way around and got all the bark off, then yeah, sure. But it is what it is, and I like them a little bit rough. Alright, I'm going to spin this up. Hopefully it doesn't spray too bad. That just helps even out the coat. Looking pretty sweet so far. It's too dark without the light bulb on, because you really don't see the true color. It looks kind of orange, I think. No, that looks pretty yellow. Some nice figure right there. But all in all, it's just a nice cherry bowl. So I'm going to let this finish dry, and then we'll do some final sanding on it tomorrow, and hopefully get a video up soon. Play nice, everybody. Well, don't play nice yet. I'm not done. Almost, but not quite. Okay, I got her flipped around. Let's get that tenon off, dress up the bottom a little bit, and call this project complete. Right, let me switch to a 3/8 bowl gouge so I can get in a little closer. Got some shaving stuck on it. Alright, kind of a different kind of bowl. I got a little bit more finish to do in here. Maybe touch up that ring right there with a little hand sanding. That's just a little pressure thing from the block of wood I had sitting on it. But the bark turned out phenomenal. I like it. I trimmed that down where it got thin enough where it looks fine sitting on the table. A little trophy bowl, I don't know, potpourri, whatever. Big old bowl of cereal. This one doesn't have any holes in it, so bon appetit. But I think it turned out just fine. There, a little less glare. How's that? Got a decent taper up on this upper edge. It's a little heavy, but not bad. Be a nice centerpiece for your kitchen table or coffee table. Nice little trim detail. Why do I keep saying little? Nice trim detail. I like it. Anywho, there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and share. Subscribe if you're not. That would be awesome. And play nice.